for long range engagements and all those things, they were already in the game. So I think gunplay, if you like the way it is now in Battlefield 5 before Firestorm, I think you're going to be okay with it. It's literally almost the exact same thing. Like I said, it's just copy and paste, cookie cutter. I mean, there's nothing different in it at all. So I get that a good plus. I think gunplay here is good because since this is a shooter, that is kind of the most important part is, do the guns feel good? And in my opinion, they feel great. The map. Another big part is the map feel alive? Does it feel like it's fun to play in, or is it just dull and boring to look at? And as of right now, I don't know if it's just new and it's that honeymoon phase of that new style map, but I think the map's pretty decent. I mean, it's still that World War II. It's just kind of plain, like just that gritty tundra type of feel, I guess. It's just normal little shacks and things, nothing crazy like in Fortnite with tilted towers and stuff, or like in PUBG with like Pachinki, and it's just a big old spot, or at least not that I've seen of. It's more just, everyone's got a little, it's kind of very diverse at the moment, so there's not really this one spot that everyone's dropping, because it's not the entire map. The map is huge. I think, if I remember correctly, they said it's 10 times bigger than Hamada. I think that's what the name of the map is, and that map's huge. It's got like 8 flags on it for Conquest, but it's 10 times bigger than that, and you don't really get to play that full size. That's more or less a marketing gimmick on their part, because you don't even really get to play that full map all the time. The map already starts pre-built somewhat in a way where the circle is already in a section, and you have to land in that little area, because if you don't land in that area, then you're just already in the storm. So really, it's tiny little sections of the map, so don't let that kind of phase you out when people are talking about how big the map is, because it is a big map. And since it is sectioned off like that, it'll force people to experience different zones. So you might like that. It's not always going to be just, it's always in that area. Everyone's going there. Since it's kind of picked every once in a while, already predetermined, pre-rendered, you kind of already have to land in certain areas. So I think this one goes both ways. That's a pro, that you're always having to drop in other places. The game's forcing you to go to different areas, so you can't just keep going the same spot. You get to break up that monotony that some of the other Battle Royale games have, because everyone wants to drop on these high-valued places. But at the same time, if you like doing that and you always like to drop a certain location, you're not always going to be able to do that. So that one's kind of up in the air for what you think. I don't have a problem with it. I don't like dropping the same place every game anyway. I like to break that up, experience new sections of the map, explore it a bit. I mean, if the map's that big, why not explore it, not just bunker down in the same spot every game? You're missing like 95% of the map if you do that. So I think personally it's good, but that's also up to determination from the player, if you enjoy it or not. Another big thing that I had a problem with when I first watched the trailer and thought about Battlefield having a Battle Royale mode was vehicles. Were vehicles going to be OP in here? Were they going to be too good if you found them? And from what I've played, I haven't personally seen a vehicle in solo. I don't think solo has vehicles, and if they are, they're very, very rare. But like tanks and stuff are also they're rare-ish in squads. But a lot of squads, you're just going to run into regular little vehicles like cars, bikes, little transport vehicles with miniguns on them. But the thing about vehicles in Firestorm is that there's so much loot for anti-vehicles like Panzerfausts and anti-tank grenades and all those different things, that getting in a vehicle is almost guaranteed death, I feel like. Since the map's so big and you don't know where people are because they're playing it slower, they're not having to rush towards objectives and stuff like this, you might go down the road and just get hit by a bunch of AT mines or something and a rocket launcher, and you're gone. Game's over. You are dead because it's Battle Royale, and that's the nature of it. You are gone. So I feel like vehicles are a very niche place right now, maybe for some transport and stuff, but you don't have to worry about like getting to the end of the circle and dying to a tank, because that's what I was kind of scared of. But that doesn't seem to be the case. I think they did a good job balancing out vehicles. So if one of your worries with this game mode were vehicles going to be way too dominant, I think they're doing pretty good. So that's another pro for Battlefield 5's Firestorm, is that they did do good with the vehicles on it. And this next topic is pretty big for a lot of people, including myself, because it's just how well the game flows. And that is, how good is the pacing of Battlefield 5's Firestorm. And it's kind of hard to describe because it's one of those where it's not very consistent across the board, which I know it's Battle Royale and they're not always going to be this way. But to an extent, there's some like Apex. It's always a pretty mediocrely fast game. I mean, it's pretty quick. Same thing with Fortnite. PUBG is more of a slower tactical approach, and I feel like Battlefield kind of fits within that realm of the PUBG one, but a little bit quicker. I know some people are saying that it's slower, but for me, I feel like I'm getting into more engagements on Battlefield 5 sometimes, since it's already a predetermined little circle. So I think that just speeds it up a little bit quicker. The games don't take nearly as long as PUBG does. So it's like, take PUBG's tactical kind of gameplay towards it a little bit, to where you're not just constantly running around and sprinting and jumping while shooting and all that, and just speed it up a little bit. Maybe kind of like that one map that I can't remember the name of on PUBG right now, but it was the 4x4. It's a little bit like that, kind of. It's around that pacing. So if you like that pacing, you're probably going to like Firestorm's pacing. So me personally, I think it's in a good spot, but I do like the faster paced battle royales like Apex and Fortnite and stuff because it's quicker. So for me personally, it's somewhat of a con, or more or less just kind of a neutral. Like, I don't hate it, the speed. It's not super slow, but at the same time, I can make it quick just by how the movement system of the game works. So I think that one's another one that's up for debate. For me personally, though, it's a neutral con type of realm at the moment. And then the last thing, and this is a really big thing that I want to stress here. This, in my opinion, is what breaks Firestorm from being a pretty good Battle Royale game mode. This tiny little detail right here, because it's used so often and because it's a core fundamental mechanic of Battle Royale games, the reason why this mechanic here does not work at all just ruins the pacing and everything else. If there's one thing that makes this game go super slow and go bad in the pacing, it's the looting system. The way they have their loot is terrible. Their inventory, it's a little weird. It's not normal from what you used to, but it's pretty easy to pick up and go with. I didn't have a problem with it. The problem I have with the looting system is the fact that it's not like Apex or anything like that, or PUBG, where there's a bag and you could scroll through everything. Super simple. It's categorized. It's super simple. It's not like Fortnite when they die, everything just kind of explodes off their body, but it's kind of spread out so you can look through it and actually scavenge through everything. The way that Firestorm does the looting when you kill someone is everything just drops on their dead body. Literally anything they had in their backpack or in their inventory is just dropped in one pile. Everything's cluttered into a tiny little ball with tiny little icons, and it's almost impossible to get any ammo, shields, armor, or anything that you want. It is impossible to get to because it's just all cluttered up. And when you're spending 15 to 20 seconds just trying to pick up one health pack or one armor after getting killed and somebody hears it, they're already running after you, and then you're just a sitting duck. And at that point, it just ruins the pacing of it all, and it just doesn't feel good when you're trying to loot and you can't pick up what you want, and then you die. It just really discourages you from playing that game at all, which is where I'm in right now. And this is where I'm going to score this. Battlefield 5's Firestorm is a pretty decent battle royale. It's not the best, but it's pretty mediocre, middle of the line. It's not bad, but it's fun to hop on and play every once in a while. If you're already playing Battlefield 5 and you're like, hey, let's play a round of Firestorm, you're like, all right. You don't have to swap games or anything. You just click it and you go straight in. So I think it is pretty good just to have as a game mode. I'm not complaining because it was a free update. But here's the big one. If you haven't bought Battlefield 5 yet, and this was your determining point if their Battle Royale was going to be good, I just personally don't think it's justified. I don't think any Battle Royale game will ever be justified for $60. Maybe if they made just Firestorm for $30, or even just made it free, because that's really the only way to compete in the Battle Royale just space right now, as it is. Maybe it'd be okay. But right now, if you don't have Battlefield 5, I just don't see anyone going out of their way to get it. If you already have Battlefield 5, it's free update. Just enjoy that you got a new game mode. It's just an update. You might as well just